I'm a big advocate for camera motion control, specifically sliders. Give me a slider over a gimbal any day. For high-end motion, they are the gold standard. A few months ago, I detailed my slider progression, explaining how I moved from the manual iFootage Shark S2 to the Zeapon Micro4, and finally up to the Kessler Cine Slider Shooter Plus combo. I liked the Micro4. For speed and portability, it was a pretty good balance, but it had its limits, namely regarding payload capacity, hence my upgrade to a Kessler. Well, it turns out Jackie at Zeapon saw that video and they loved it, and so now they've sent over the successor to the Micro4, the aptly named Micro4. So today I'm going to show you what it looks like in a simple tabletop setup, using both the standard mirrorless payload and also a stripped back Komodo X build. I'll be upfront, I'm not a product video expert, far from it, so this is going to be more of a practical smoothness test rather than a masterclass. I'm Jack, whatever this is I'm calling Western Approaches, and a quick note on transparency. Zeapon sent me the Micro4 to try. There was no payment, they've got no editorial control and no preview rights. They had seen my Micro3 video though, so they already knew that I was kind of impressed with it, especially at the price point with lighter payloads, but that I've been able to make it work with heavier ones when I had to. So I do get to keep this unit, but they don't get to tell me what to say. I actually shoot very little pure tabletop product. I do interiors, branded content and lifestyle. So think of this as a field test from someone who's actually now pretty decent with motion, but less so with hyper-polished product tricks. So today we're just going to focus on one subject, a single Florist perfume bottle. Glass, metal, label. Perfect for seeing how smooth, repeatable moves feel on a small set. So some things that carry over from the Micro4. The carriage and rail feel ultra smooth, so there's no micro judder on slow moves. Setup is fast. On small jobs, speed definitely beats chasing that last 2%. The app is super intuitive. Not only can you mark A and B, but also C, D, E and F. You can set your speed, loop and roll. The usual caveat still applies though if you want more than a slide. Zeapon's Pons PT gives you that pan tilt, but this is where payload really matters. With a typical mirrorless body, it's totally fine, but with heavier bodies, you will start to notice flex. I'll show you both to illustrate what I mean. The Zeapon Lab app is good. Like a lot of camera kit apps now, it's very capable, but the Micro4, in an upgrade over the Micro3, has physical controls. They're genuinely great for simple moves. There's something about pressing an actual button, letting the shot roll, that just works. For quick A to B moves or repeats, give me buttons over apps all day. You don't always actually need motorized tilt, a very workable approach for products and interiors, especially with heavier payloads. Slide and pan only on the motors. Set a static tilt on a ball head before the move. That way you dodge any tilt arm flex, gain payload headroom drastically, and you still get elegant parallax. Today's plan. Camera 1. Sony A7SIII with 24-70 set at 70mm. 2 configurations. Slide and pan only with the tilt locked on a ball head, and slide, pan and tilt using the Pons PT head. Camera 2 is the red Komodo X with a Nissi Athena 50mm, and it's a bit of a stripped back build like you would actually use it. So no monitor, no rigging, and just a 45 Wh battery, with the same 2 configurations as above. Slide and pan only with the tilt locked on the ball head, slide, pan and tilt using the Pons PT head. And we'll look at the footage and I'll call out how stable each feels, any fixes I do in post, and which I'd use on a paid gig. And this is my mini tabletop setup. One Florist bottle, a little riser, a matte black base. The key light is through diffusion, which just skims the glass edge quite nicely. If this were an actual product shoot, the set would have more dressing, etc., but it's not, and that's not really my thing. I don't even have a box of suitable props I can rummage around in, so I'm keeping it pretty basic. With the slide and pan only and the tilt locked, this is the safe, dependable configuration. The carriage feels absolutely planted, starts and stops are very clean, and the motion looks expensive, even at slow speeds. I'd still probably add a light stabilization pass on export, just out of habit, but truthfully it's already pretty usable. Slide, pan and tilt using the Pons head. With the mirrorless payload and gentle tilt angles, the Pons behaves well. If your background has strong horizontals and you go macro close, you might well notice tiny rotational drift across longer moves, fixable with subtle rotation keyframes or a touch of stabilization. For most tabletop distances though, it's absolutely fine. With the heavier pass in the Komodo X, the slide, pan with tilt set statically on a ball head. The Micro4 handles the weight of a Komodo X with compositional stability. I definitely use it on a paid job. If I were being picky, I'd probably throw a bit of stabilization on as well, but then that would be the footage done. This is where payload realities creep in. On very gentle tilt moves, it's workable, but you may see a degree or two of rotational wander across the travel, most noticeable with strong horizontals or tighter focal lengths. The fix is simple but fiddly. Add rotation keyframes at the start, middle and end, or skip motorized tilt and keep it static. For a time-pressed day, I'd probably favour slide and pan only. An interesting note, the Micro4's operational noise is very, very quiet. That tends not to really matter for me, but if it's something that matters for you, it's worth considering. If you're finding any of this helpful or interesting, if you could do the usual YouTube things, like, subscribe and hype, then that way you'll see more videos as soon as they come out. Also, if you want to see what I get up to in between episodes, follow me on Instagram @JackFilmed. For precision with heavy builds, that's something where a Kessler is still essential. But for speed, portability, number of angles you can capture in a day, the Micro4 is faster and easier to work with. For mirrorless product or interiors, the Micro4 is an easy yes, especially slide and pan. Between the app and the physical hardware buttons, you can build a pretty fast workflow. Just mark A and B, set speed, save as a preset, hit play. Or, if you're doing quick repeats, use the onboard loop button and just get on with it. That's how you can really build coverage quickly when you're working solo. So who's this setup really for? Solo operators shooting interiors, hospitality, small brand stories, and the odd tabletop product shot. Creators who value repeatable moves and want to travel light, and also mirrorless shooters in particular. The Micro4 feels purpose-built for you. My big takeaways as a non-product specialist. The Micro4 feels like a refined Micro3. Slightly cleaner starts, stops, it still has that exact same solid carriage feel, but everything's just a little tighter. If I just need slide and pan, the Micro4 is my default. It's fast, stable and repeatable. And if I'm going to use like the Sony A7SIII or maybe the new Nikon ZR, then I might add the Pons tilt for gentle moves. For a bit of kit that's small enough to literally fit in a suitcase, it earns its keep. And I will be keeping this in kit rotation. So that's my simple, realistic look at the Zeapon Micro4. It's the perfect evolution of the Micro3, a slider I already know and love. This level of smoothness at this price point, for me, is best in class. If you've got any questions and agree, disagree, or know something else I should be trying out, then pop them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as I'm able to. I'm Jack, this is Western Approaches. Thank you once again for watching.